Since 1992, Multi-Tech Products has become the global leader in supplying spa and bathtub surface repair materials. We ship to Europe, Asia, South America, and throughout North America. We serve over 130 spa and bath manufacturers, over 400 retail dealers, and over 1,000 professionals that service the in-home repair industry. Multi-Tech provides materials that match the acrylic sheet used in spa and bath construction from industry leaders such as Aristech, Lucite, and Spartech. You can refer to their websites for specific colors and descriptions. We have a unique capability to match any color or effect. When applied by a trained professional, our materials and procedures can renew the surface of a damaged spa or bathtub and leave it looking as good as new. Multi-Tech offers repair materials for virtually every spa color sold in the U.S. This training video outlines the procedures for the repair of severe surface damage to 3 basic spa color effects: Granite, solid one-color spas, and random mixed patterns referred to as marble or swirl colors. Chapter 1 lists the tools and materials needed for these procedures and provides safety reminders. Chapter 2 focuses upon the first step, the preparation, grinding, and filling of deep gouges and fractures. In Chapter 3, we look at the repair of granite surfaces. Chapter 4 examines the repair of solid one-color products. And in Chapter 5, we focus upon repairing multicolored marble or swirled surfaces. Step-by-step instructions for the procedures in this video can be downloaded from our website, multitechproducts.com. A visit to our website also allows you to order other training videos, access information regarding the repair of other types of surface or structural damage, and view advanced artist techniques to duplicate surface colors and patterns. The basic tools needed for these procedures include a 1/4-inch pneumatic die grinder with cylinder grinding points, a 3/8-inch pneumatic variable speed drill with a sanding disc assembly, an industrial heat gun, a single action airbrush, a variable speed heavy-duty buffer capable of 2,500 RPM, a selection of sandpaper from 100 grit to 600 grit, a source for supplying at least 1 cubic foot per minute of compressed air at 75 psi. We sell a portable air compressor for this purpose. Although we suggest the use of pneumatic tools, electrical drills and grinders can also be used. Required materials include gouge and crack fillers and coating systems. The preferred filler for most spas is an acrylic resin filler, since it best withstands the harsh environment of a spa. However, our modified polyester resin filler, polyfiller, can be used in areas that will not be constantly exposed to water and chemicals. It was designed for easier application that is satisfactory for bathtub repair. We strongly recommend that common automobile body fillers should not be used since they absorb water and fail prematurely. 2 popular coating systems are available: the Quick Glaze system and the MMA system. A quick glaze system is designed primarily for professionals making repairs in a customer's home. It comes in containers of various sizes, as well as kits that contain all of the necessary materials in a quantity sufficient to make a number of repairs. A quick glaze repair can be completed quickly, sprayed, and left to fully cure, and is designed to make sanding, buffing, and polishing unnecessary. However, if an unclean environment allows airborne contaminants to affect the finished surface, quick glaze repair work can be sanded, buffed, and polished if sufficient time is allowed for curing. The MMA system is designed to include sanding, buffing, and polishing for maximum surface quality after the repair has fully cured. These post-procedures are generally necessary in production plants, so this system is generally the preferred choice of spa and bath manufacturers. Multi-Tech encourages the safe use of all of its products. Before beginning any repair job, Review the MSDS information supplied with each product and adhere to safety procedures for equipment used in the repair process. Store chemical components at room temperature and keep them away from fire sources. Use safety glasses, gloves, and respirators as needed. We will now get started with the procedures. Regardless of a spa's surface color or texture, or actual shape or geometry of the damage itself, the first step in a cosmetic repair of a deep gouge is to grind out and fill the scratch or fracture. For spa surfaces, Multitech recommends the use of an acrylic filler, a quick glaze base coat, and the K2000 top coat. The techniques used are also applicable to the MMA system described in Chapter 1. Step-by-step instructions for the following procedures can be downloaded from our website. The steps used to repair a crack or gouge in the surface of a spa include repair preparation, grinding and shaping the crack, and filling the crack itself. Before a repair can be started, ensure that all water has been drained from the spa and that all surfaces are clean and dry. We also recommend that you organize all required tools and materials prior to starting the job. When you're ready to begin the repair, terminate the crack by routing from one end to the other using a rotary grinder. Remove enough material so that a V-shaped groove about 1/8 inch deep is created. The grinding should extend a 1/4 inch beyond each end of the crack and yield a groove with a 30 to 45 degree angle on the edges, extending through the depth of the acrylic. Since the surface layer is very thin in the deep areas of a spa, special care should be taken to avoid creating a hole. Secondly, remove all loose fragments from the edge by sanding with 100 grit dry sandpaper. Control the sanding to the immediate area of the defect to minimize the size of the repair. Finally, clean the area with a soft cloth or paper towel and isopropyl alcohol. Prepare the acrylic filler by dispensing the desired amount of component A into a graduated mixing cup. Add 30 drops of component B per each 1/2 ounce of A. Mix thoroughly with the wooden stir. Fill the crack with the acrylic material to slightly below the spa surface. Since the mixture will harden within 15 minutes, it should be used immediately. To accelerate the drying process, use gentle continuous heat around the edge of the crack. Do not point the gun directly at the crack area. Allow the filler to cure for 5 to 10 minutes and then fill again. Repeat this process 2 or 3 times to gradually fill the void and to decrease the likelihood of overheating or air bubble formation. If too much time passes between fillings, the inner area must be sanded to ensure good adhesion to the next applied layer. The surface should be soft to the fingernail in order to allow good adhesion between layers. After the last filling has cured, grind the surface to be flat and even with the spa surface itself. Use a 50 to 36 grit disc for grinding, operating at a slower grinder speed to avoid overheating. Remove any excess white acrylic filler from around the crack to avoid bleed-through in the final repair. Finally, sand the completed fill area with 100 grit wet sandpaper. Pinholes or voids can be filled by wiping the surface with a very thin coat of a new batch of the acrylic filler. Use only the acrylic filler for this purpose. The first step in repairing a granite surface, after filling with the white acrylic resin, is to grind a depression in the white filler that is about 1/16 of an inch below the spa surface. This depression will be filled with special granite colored filler. In fact, this granite filler may be used to fill the entire void space in small cracks. Using the mixing cups, combine the filler, component A, with the catalyst, component B, in the ratio of 1/2 ounce of A to every 30 drops of B. Mix well. Use this mixture to overfill the depression, allowing the material to cure 20 to 30 minutes. Curing can be accelerated using a heat gun. Grind the area smooth with the drill and disc pad. Then sand the surface to smoothness using a progression from 100 to 200 to 320 grit sandpaper. When the repair is fully cured, a clear top coat is applied to protect the repair from the spa environment. Multi-Tech offers an acrylic top coat with the MMA system and a polyurethane top coat for quick glaze applications on bathtubs. But the high-performance K2000 is recommended for spas. It is preferred since it offers the best resistance to chlorine, bromine, and ozone. Pour the desired amount of K2000 top coat into a mixing cup or airbrush bottle. Add the K2000 hardener in the ratio of 1 part hardener to 3 parts top coat. Apply this mixture to the repaired surface by dabbing small amounts on the surface using the small paintbrush. A texture additive is available to increase texture in the top coat. If desired, add 1 part of this component to 32 parts of the top coat mix and repeat the dabbing process. Here is a before and after of this repair. The surface of any repaired spa should be allowed to cure for at least 7 days before water is reintroduced. During the curing process, place the spa cover in a way that ensures good ventilation. Cool temperatures will lengthen the cure time. Surface moisture from condensation will affect the curing process. We will now demonstrate the repair of a solid color spa. The procedure is similar for any solid color, but we will demonstrate the process on a pearlescent color, which is one of the more difficult colors. These procedures apply to the metal series colors. The materials needed to complete this repair include the Quick Glaze primer coat, a base coat retarder, and the K2000 acrylic polyurethane protective clear top coat with its hardener and reducer. The primer coat is not necessary for non-pearlescent colors. The K2000 thinner reducer also serves the purpose of a finishing solvent to facilitate feathering to eliminate the common halo effect. A hand glaze cleaner minimizes static and film from the surface prior to the coating application. Starting with the area filled with acrylic and sanded smooth, the first step is to apply the primer coat. It is the base color of the pearl without the pearl ingredients. Pour an ample amount of the primer coat into a mixing cup or airbrush bottle. Add the K2000 hardener to the cup in a ratio of 1 part hardener to 8 parts primer as the starting point. Mix thoroughly. Add the K2000 retarder in the ratio of 1 part retarder to 4 parts primer hardener mix. Mix thoroughly and perform a test spray. Additional thinning with the retarder is frequently needed to obtain optimum spray atomization. Next, prepare the base coat, which matches the spa in the same procedure as the primer. Perform a test spray with the base coat and adjust viscosity as needed. Finishing solvents are used during the spraying of these coatings to promote good laydown, wetting, and gloss. The Quick Glaze finishing solvent is used for this purpose with the primer and the base coat only. The K2000 thinner reducer is used as the finishing solvent for the top coat. Ample quantities should be poured into a separate airbrush bottle and used at any time during the spraying. The K2000 top coat can be prepared prior to application of the base coat to avoid excessive time between coats. It is prepared in a similar way, but use a ratio of 1 part hardener to 3 parts top coat. Mix thoroughly and perform a test spray. Add thinner in small increments if needed to improve atomization. Start by preparing an area around the repair, but significantly larger, by cleaning with a soft cloth or paper towel, which is dampened with isopropyl alcohol. Apply a generous amount of hand glaze to the clean surface. With a clean cloth, work the hand glaze into the surface, achieving a nice, clean, and glossy surface. Use a tack cloth to remove any dust or foreign particles. Begin spraying the primer coat by holding the airbrush a few inches from the surface, with the air pressure set at 45 to 55 psi. Typically, 2 passes are required for complete coverage. The first light coat is concentrated on top of the white acrylic filler, but does not provide total hiding power. The second coat is used to flood the area, fill in pinholes, and provide hiding of the white filler. Then, feathering is performed. Airbrush adjustment is generally necessary to achieve best results in the feathering process. Now begin spraying the base coat. Start from the center and apply enough to completely cover and hide the primer. Feather the base coat from the outside edges to provide a gradual transition in color from the sprayed area to the original surface. The goal is to yield a high gloss, color matched repair. The final step is to apply the K2000 Protected Clear Top Coat. It should be applied no later than 30 minutes after completing the base coat. It is sprayed on in the same fashion while making sure the entire area is covered. A good tip for pearl colors is that adding a little base coat to the clear top coat can help achieve a better duplication of the pearl look. Be sure to complete the spray application by applying the K2000 thinner as the finishing solvent. The top coat should be tack free in 1/2 hour. Here is the before and after of this repair. Now we are ready to demonstrate the repair of a marble spa. We will include instructions for duplicating the existing pattern. Marble-colored spa surfaces are made using a combination of 2 or 3 colors that are poorly mixed during sheet production. This creates random patterns and color tones in the spa surface. The process of forming the sheet into the final shape will cause additional variations in the appearance. Repair of these surfaces are the most challenging of any spa repair, and typically require a well-trained professional to duplicate the colors and patterns. Visit our website for advanced techniques and training assistance. The process for repairing a marble spa requires the ability to create different patterns with the airbrush. We have developed a sequence of airbrush stroke techniques that are used to duplicate marble patterns. We describe these as a rat tail, long stroke, and circular strokes. The basic strokes are produced by adjusting the airbrush to yield a fine line when held very close, about 1/8 inch from the surface. The rat tail stroke starts with a splash and ends with a point. The long stroke starts and ends with a point. Holding the airbrush a little further from the surface and opening the spray tip to create a wider pattern is called a fade adjustment. You use a slight fade adjustment to create the basic circular stroke. A more severe adjustment can be used with these same basic strokes to create a wider spray pattern. Here is an illustration of the result you are trying to achieve. Finally, a fog coat is produced by fully opening the airbrush tip and holding it about 10 to 12 inches from the surface. These strokes will be demonstrated in the following repair. The specific materials needed are quick glaze base coats in each of the primary spa colors, quick glaze finishing solvent, K2000 top coat, hand glaze, light and dark toners, quick glaze retarder, K2000 hardener, K2000 thinner reducer, lacquer thinner, rubbing alcohol, tack cloth. Before starting, jets and other areas that need to be protected from overspray should be masked with paper and tape. After the crack has been filled, leveled, and sanded smooth, you are ready to start the procedure. First, check the color match of the paint by dabbing it on the spot. Here we are checking the blue and silver, and we decide to add some red pigment to the blue. Let it dry before judging color match. These trials can be removed using lacquer thinner. Frequently, marble patterns with two basic colors will combine to form a third tone. This new color can be created by mixing the base coats. Prepare the base coat in each color and the K2000 top coat to be used as described in the Pearl procedure. Clean an area around the repair with the alcohol. Apply the hand glaze and wipe with a tack cloth as instructed in the previous chapter. Here we show the important equipment and components that will be used. Notice that we need 5 separate airbrush bottles for different solutions that will be sprayed. An air regulator with desiccant filter is important to avoid moisture in the coatings. We will now demonstrate this procedure on a spa repair. First, perform a test spray on paper. Start spraying the light base coat with the airbrush to create the body. This first spray application should create a gloss area over the filled area. Let it dry for a few minutes. The heat gun should not be used since it could introduce contamination. The airbrush is being used to assist drying. Notice the reflection, which indicates that a high gloss finish was achieved. We will apply a second coat to fill voids and pinholes. We now spray the quick glaze finishing solvent to assist wet out and eliminate orange peel. It can be used at any time in the base coat application. We will now begin creating the marble pattern. Perform a test spray to establish the ability to spray thin lines. Airbrush adjustment may be required. It is necessary to hold the airbrush about 1/8 of an inch away from the surface. In this example, additional thinner and airbrush adjustments are needed. Now create these lines extending from the body, from the extreme left edge to the right edge of pattern, using a fine line rat tail stroke. Now use the rat tail stroke, but lifting the brush at the end to create a slightly wider pattern. Feather the paint from the center to the outside region of the repair, and spray enough so that the outline of the original body disappears. Now we are ready to add the second, darker color. Look for a dominating linear line, a streak, running through the repair area. This becomes the reference line. Now using the darker color and the long stroke, spray a similar line connecting the end points through the repair. Following the reference line pattern, Continue to create lines from the reference line, which are consistent with the overall orientation of the pattern. Work from the reference line out to the right edge. Repeat this process on the left side. This should be continued until a satisfactory duplication of the marble pattern is achieved. The finishing solvent should be used to improve laydown and control orange peel and to generate a glossy surface. Sometimes the light and dark toners are needed to recreate all of the existing tones and cross patterns. This is accomplished while maintaining consistency in the overall look of the spa surface pattern. A final layer of the initial light color is now sprayed using a light to heavy fog spray to soften the lines and blend the various color tones. Try to complete the marbleizing process within 30 minutes. Allow the finishing solvent to evaporate. Then apply the K2000 top coat over all the marbleized area, creating an acceptable gloss finish. Use the K2000 top coat procedure as explained in Chapter 3. Feather the edges with the top coat. Notice that we apply the top coat over a large area. Wet out the dry overspray using liberal amounts of the K2000 thinner as the finishing solvent to achieve a high gloss smooth surface. This repair is now complete and should be allowed to reach final curing before being disturbed. If sanding, buffing, and polishing are needed to achieve acceptable surface quality, allow at least 3 hours before disturbing the surface. Multitech offers a great instruction tool for teaching the procedure for marbleizing. Please ask for the Marble Instruction Notebook. Here is the before and after of this repair. The repair materials and techniques featured in this training were designed to withstand the environment of spas and hot tubs. However, success of the actual repair is dependent upon the experience and skills of the operator. Multitech Products Corporation assumes no obligation or liability for any advice furnished or for any results obtained with respect to this information. All such advice is given and accepted at the user's risk.